Hello and welcome to another new episode of Learning Simplified. Today in this tutorial we are going to know about the image classes used in UI Semantic. Stay tuned. Now in our previous tutorial we had learned how to use different image classes along with the header class into our project, but now precisely in this tutorial we are going to learn about separately using the image classes into our project. We will be dealing up with the images. We will be seeing various classes used in this respect, and we will be using them into our project to observe the practical demonstration in live. Now UI Semantic uses various classes in order to represent its images. There are numerous classes in this respect regarding the size of the image, such as the huge image, the large image, small, tiny, medium. So these are various classes which is being used in UI Semantic. We'll be seeing how to use them sequentially. First of all, let's introduce this image source here, where as usual we need to mention the source of the image. So we will be using this source here in the first case, and in the next case we need to mention the size of the image. So if we now use this UI large image right over here, there it goes. So this is the result when we use something like this, the UI large image class. Now instead of this large image, if we use this medium image class, press Ctrl S, reload, and we should be seeing this kind of result here. In the similar manner, instead of medium, if we now use small class, and if we reload, we can see that this will be the obvious result. And if we use this tiny class, then this should be the result so far. So we can see that on varying the classes here, we may change the size of an image as been specified. So if we now, instead of this tiny class, if we now use this large class, there it goes, press Ctrl S, reload. So here comes the image. Now if we just inspect this element over here, and we can see that the max width is set to 100% for this image class, and here comes the width, actual width, it is known as 450 pixels. So the image here, it is practically occupying a total width of 450 pixels. Now instead of this large, if we use this tiny class here, reload, and we can see that for this tiny class here, the image width is right now set to 80 pixels, where the height is auto. So we can see that the image size is practically varied in an accordance to the class specified to it. So this is how we may make changes here. We may use any kind of image, any size of the image, depending upon the class which is being used in UI Semantic as been defined in UI Semantic. So we will be now sticking it to this large class, and we will be using this 450 pixels. Press Ctrl Shift M, and we can see that this will be the result for this 768 pixels breakpoint. For this 320 pixels breakpoint, this is going to be the obvious result. So it is now occupying almost the 100% width of the device. So let's inspect, and we can see that the width is now set to this 450 pixels again, and the max width is 100% has been specified here. So for this 320 pix container, it is practically using the maximum width of 100% for this low resolution mobile device right over here. Press Ctrl Shift M and get back to this larger desktop preview. Now in the next case, let's head back to create another container in this respect. First of all, let's copy this whole thing and create another container. And in this container, first of all, we will be removing everything in between. We don't have a need of it actually. In this particular case, we will be now seeing how to classify the images into our project as per the state of the images. That means it will be a hidden one or it will be a disabled one. So this is the thing that we need to know in this part. Now we are mentioning that it will be a 2-column grid. So we'll be actually creating 2 different columns, and in the first case this is the column 1 where we will be creating this image source. We will be mentioning the file names right over here. So this is the first one, test image 1.jpg, and in the class we are mentioning that for this test image, for this particular image, the class will be hidden. This is the first part, and in the next case, all we are going to do, instead of using this hidden image, we will be now using this disabled image right over here. Now if we press Ctrl S, and first of all let's specify that we will be practically using a larger image right over here, and on the other hand we may mention here that this entire grid will be divided. So let's reload, and we can see that this is the result. In the first case, the image that we mentioned here, it is practically been hidden. So there it goes. The image in the left side is practically hidden, but on the right side we had used a disabled class, and that is why we can see that the image here is practically getting grayed out. So this is the classification as per the state of the images. This is the next thing.